Alright, it's Paul and welcome back to B&B Talk. Things are getting crazy. In this episode we see Liam and he is briefing Bill and Katie about Wyatt's trip up in the Spencer jet. So he tells them that the secret actually isn't about Rick the way they thought it was, and the secret is about Maya. Now, Liam thinks it's nothing more than gossip between sisters, and Bill sort of feels the same way. They think it's not explosive enough, or it's not going to be explosive enough to bring down the company. So I'll get back to what happens after they finish that conversation in a little while, but we see Nicole, and she actually is really pushing the point now, because I don't think she wants to ruin things. She thinks she has her own prince, so she's telling Nicole, it's not really worth it to expose yourself and expose a secret. And Maya says, well, what happens when it comes down to, him wanting a family? And she tells her that she can just tell him that she can't get pregnant, make up an excuse at the time. But Nicole doesn't want to do that. And then all of a sudden Wyatt shows up, and the whole dynamic changes because Maya goes on the offensive. She wants to know what his intentions are. She starts grilling him about the relationship, and Wyatt uses this as a way to turn things around. In fact, he says that he doesn't know where this is going, but he likes where it's going. He also tells her that they get along great because they really are making trust an issue in the relationship, and he really starts hammering home the whole honesty factor when he says, we just want to be honest with each other and have no secrets. So he's pushing every one of Maya's buttons, and he wants to see if he can get a reaction out of her, and he really does seem to get a reaction out of her. So then we turn around and we see Wyatt go back to Bill and Katie and Liam, and he tells them that there is something to this, and even though they think he should give it up, he says no, there's something there, and I think the secret is big enough to bring down the company. So they agree that he's going to keep after it, because he tells them that based on Maya's reaction, whatever she is hiding is huge. So same thing, we'll have to stay tuned to that. But actually we don't have to stay tuned very much longer, because we see Charlie, and Charlie is insisting to Pam that in fact Maya is transgender, but Pam doesn't want anything to do with it. She doesn't think it's the case, so she really can't wrap her head around this. Now, while they have the pills, Rick shows up, and he wants to know what the hell they're doing in his office, and they sort of lead him on this wild goose chase that's really confusing. Then eventually they say, oh, they wanted some private time. Actually, Charlie says it, and they like the risk of being in this office. And Rick says TMI, and they leave his office. Charlie actually thinks they should go back, see if they can get the name of the doctor off the bottle, and Pam is getting afraid. She actually thinks it's wrong to invade her privacy. She thinks that even though she doesn't like Rick, him and Maya are great together, and what they're doing she thinks is morally wrong, and she wants Charlie to drop it. So we don't really know what's going to happen in this one, but we'll have to wait and see. But then we see Maya, and she tells Rick when she comes in the office that she got a weird, strange look from Pam and Charlie as she walked in. And then Rick gets into the financials with Maya, and he shows her that the company's doing even better than he thought they were doing, so it's really good. He tells Maya about Brooke's shenanigans and how embarrassing they were. God knows she had a ton of shenanigans. And he says, and I can really understand where he's coming from at this point, that it was so embarrassing that it actually made him ashamed, and he didn't trust people, and it actually turned him into a control freak when he got into a relationship. And he said he doesn't want that. He thinks he's found that person in Maya, and he wants to share it with her. He trusts her more than anything. And then he really drives it home by saying not only is his relationship over and his divorce is almost final, but he wants a future with Maya, and in fact he wants a lot of kids running around. And at that point Maya can't take it. She turns away from him, and you can tell that she is now crying, and he asks her what's wrong, and she gives him the old, oh, it's just so overwhelming excuse, and he wants to make sure they're on the same page. Now, Maya is a real tough spot, and she does not know what to do. So what does she say? She tells Rick that she has something that she wants to tell him. And Rick says, you can always tell me anything. And that's where we leave off. So, is it a matter of Charlie getting the truth out first? Is Wyatt going to get the truth out first? or is Maya just going to tell Rick? But I have a strong sense that this is coming really quick, and I want to hear your theories on how the truth is going to come out. Please send me a message on this channel or on Twitter, and I'm on Pinterest too. But I want to thank you all for checking out B&B Talk. It's Paul. Have a great day.